Hey, welcome to the Neka Said podcast. And if you're new here, I'm Neka Williams, a planner girl, mom to an 8-year-old husband, and a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. At the end of 2016, I was happily fired from Amazon, which jumped off this online journey. After signing 2 clients within 10 days and booking out my services as a virtual assistant, I was thrown as the Facebook queen and Coach Neka was born. All that to say, I'm a virtual assistant and a VA coach helping women realize they don't have to choose between work and their family. You can have both. And if you're looking for financial freedom while also having family focus, this is the podcast for you. You'll learn how to grow a business that fits into your personal life and not the other way around.
Hey everybody, let's jump right into this. This is going to be a juicy topic because a lot of people hear my story and see how quickly I was able to start actually making 1K in my business. And so right now I'm always thinking like 1K is not a lot of money. You can easily make that in your business. And so I wanted to give a way or kind of lay out my steps as far as how I was able to do it and give you a couple of tips on how you can do it too. So in the beginning, I thought I needed all of the things to actually start making money in my business. So I started to kind of like look around for, I needed a website. I needed to make sure I had a welcome packet that was up to par. I needed to have, do all of the Facebook lives. I needed to make sure I have an email list. I need to be active in so many groups. I need to grow my social media profile. I need to grow my social media accounts. And so it was like all of the things. And then all of that trickled down to, okay, I need to do like 20 things before I'm able to even to start making money in my business. So I am super on starting with where you're at because that's exactly what I did, especially after I tell my story over and over again after being fired so close to Christmas and so close to the first when all of your bills start rolling back around. And so I kind of like looked at this is going to take me a long time to actually make money in my business. And so I had this kind of thought in my mind always was I wasn't able to make money quickly in my business. There's no way I'm able to make enough money to actually in 5 days or so get presents underneath the Christmas tree, but also go ahead and start paying on to my bills for the month that was coming up. So this was always in the back of my mind because I've heard so many people before said it takes me a year, it took me 6 months, it took me so long to actually start making money in my business. But then I started to look at, okay, how can I actually make money in my business quickly, but also by actually launching a business super slim. So today we're going to discuss like how to make your first 1K or your next 1K in a super slim launch status mode. So it's going to be for anybody who doesn't have a lot of time or doesn't have a lot of money to invest in your business. You can still able to go ahead and get the ball rolling and start making some money pretty quickly in your business. If you're definitely scared to be salesy or to put yourself out there, jump on sales calls or ask for more, increase your rates. So this is definitely for the person who is definitely a little fearful, a little hesitant around sales, around pricing, around promos. We're going to discuss a little bit about that. If you're just starting and you don't know what to do and you're thinking you have to kind of like put it off for like a month because you need to get all these things in place, I'm going to talk about a super slim way for you to go ahead and start making money in your business. I did it quickly. I was able to start making my first 1K in about 2 weeks of starting my business. So you can even do it sooner than that. So we're going to discuss a lot of those. And if you're trying to make money for a purpose, so if it's the holidays coming around or your kids want to, you want to put your kids into sports, if it's a time for like a big bill that's coming around, so maybe it's like tuition or, different things like that, you can start to actually generate some money pretty quickly and get those things paid off. So number one is when I'm thinking about a super slim launch, I'm really going to the basics. What are the bare minimum that I need in my business to actually start to make money in my business? And so the number one thing is you need to have something to offer. So what kind of services can you sell to what type of people to actually start making money into your business? So when I started this back, I don't know, 2 years ago, I looked at what do I have to offer? What kind of skills do I have right now that I can start offering services to online business owners? So a lot of us in the VA space, we definitely started out with that general admin because a lot of us come from office, corporate office jobs. So we have that experience. So I looked at, okay, how can I like translate or convert this into an online business? And I started to create packages around that. So just think about what you already have, list out your skills, go ahead and start pitching those, looking for ways. So go ahead and start to plan your route. So what are the skills that you have and how can you convert those over to services? And then you can package those up, or how can you offer those to your audience or different people that you want to work with? So my thing is plan the route. You have the services, you have the 1K goal or whatever your goal is, figure out how do you package those up to actually hit those goals. So if you have your services is maybe at, I don't know, in the beginning it's like 10 hours for 250, and you want to hit 10K. If you want to hit 1K, how many clients do you need to sign to actually hit that? And then of course you can always scale it up. If once you get the experience under your belt, you can charge more, you have more skills, and then you can even hit your goals even quicker because you can increase your rates. So make sure you plan your route as far as what do you have to offer and who will you offer this to hit those income goals. The next thing you want to do is look at how will you actually get those clients. So you need to go ahead and pinpoint, mark down your marketing strategy. So my number one way in the beginning, because I didn't have an audience and then I wasn't too well known when I was just starting beginning, was I did a lot of cold pitching. And so there's an effective way to do cold pitching. I know a lot of people steer away from it because they feel like it's spam. And a lot of people are spamming people and calling it cold pitching. But you want to make sure you're doing it effective so that you actually get a response, you actually get clients to sign up. There's other ways to do it too. I am big on Facebook groups because I find a lot of my clients, and I like a lot of my clients that come from Facebook groups. So having a marketing strategy in place that you implement to get those services that you have bundled up in front of the people that you want to offer them to. Then last but not least, and I think this is kind of important because a lot of people have the services and they know who they want to offer it to, and they go in there and they kind of like offer their services out to that audience, but they don't have the sales process kind of nailed down. And the sales process for me is just a friendly conversation. And I think a lot of people go into it thinking of it more so on corporate, but you kind of have to perfect that sales process. And how you do that is with practice. So if you have a coach, a mentor, accountability buddy, you can kind of go through a sales call and get that under your belt if you're kind of scared in the beginning. But the more sales calls that you do, you will figure out what kind of ways that you actually kind of communicate your services resonates with the person on the other line. And those are the ways that you connect with those people and be able to effectively communicate what you have to offer and how this offer will actually help them in their business or in their life. So you want to make sure you actually practice those sales calls and you perfect those sales calls. I did this in the beginning by just booking a whole bunch of sales calls. I was constantly like, let's jump on a call. And in the beginning, I would have, I don't know, about 5 calls in 1 week. And that was how I got good at my sales calls process, like good at how I was able to tweak what I say, figure out where I was having the objections, figure out what they actually wanted, how my services can help them get the transformation that they want. And so I think a lot of people stop and they want to read about it, but the more that you actually do is how you learn the most. So you can easily, pretty quickly, I was able to launch my business within a day. I figured out, hey, I need to do this because I no longer have a job. And so I quickly did a slim one just similar to this, figure out my services, figure out who I want to offer it to, and got on the phone with a lot of different people to practice those sales calls and perfect those sales calls. And I quickly, in 2 weeks, went ahead and signed my reoccurring client in my business. So I was able to do that pretty quickly. And don't get hung up on overthinking it. Don't get hung up on all the bells and whistles. Go back to the basics. Think about the bare minimum that you need to actually get your business running and get money coming into your business. And you want to make sure sure you have somebody that's holding you accountable. So just like I said, if you're able to jump on the phone with someone to kind of practice those sales calls, because it is super scary in the beginning when you're talking to people or when you're offering your services to people that you don't actually know. And so you'll get more comfortable with that as time goes on. But that is how you can actually have a slim launch and make the first 1K that you need. So let me know if you have any kind of questions or comments. Go ahead and drop them inside of the Virtual Assistant Club on Facebook. Go ahead and leave me a review, subscribe to the podcast, and I will be back with another one next week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and make sure you check back next week for another amazing episode with actionable tips to grow your online business. In the meantime, leave a review and let me know your thoughts on today's episode. And if you want to see what I'm up to, check out my Instagram page at Coach Neka. Come hang out with other women on the same journey in the private free Facebook group, the Virtual Assistant Club. And remember, every day you're one step closer to the dream life you want. Keep going, girlfriend.